Hello everyone, welcome to Courtside. I'm Blair Cartwright, pleased to be joined by Tom Collin, our head women's basketball coach. Just one game this past week, an impressive one, big win against Missouri.
It was a good game. You know, it was it's our new rivalry in the SEC with Missouri. We were fortunate enough to go up there and beat them at their place, played pretty good defense, and so had a whole week off to get ready for them, so gave us a lot of extra time, I think, to prepare. And as it turned out, it worked out pretty well. Those extra days, I think, allowed us to really key in on them defensively again, and I feel like that's where the strength of the game was at. Off to a great start, held them to 11 points in the first half. I had no idea we were setting a record in that game for the fewest points allowed in an SEC game and a half, but kudos to my wife, who did a great job with it, my defense coordinator, and the kids, because they went out and they executed the game plan.
Let's take a look at the three keys, and what do you know? First key, defense. As you said, holding them to 11 points, 18% shooting, 28% overall for the game, and you forced 20 turnovers. I mean, you couldn't have written a better script.
Well, I think they figured out Missouri. I mean, this is their first time through the league, and a lot of teams in our league didn't know a lot about them. I think they got everybody's attention when they started making a lot of threes. I think against Auburn, when they beat Auburn at home early in the year, they made 17 or 18 threes in one game, so that got everybody's attention. And then, you know, even after we went up there and beat them, Tennessee came in and they beat Tennessee by 18 points. That really got everybody's attention. So you realize what you got to do, and with them, really, you got to run them off the three-point line. You just can't give them any open looks there whatsoever. And like I said, we worked hard for 4 days. We took away every three that they had. Every three that they did get maybe was a contested three. They just got very, very frustrated with that. And that was probably the difference in the game. I think we frustrated them to the point where they never really felt like they had a chance to win the game coming out of the locker room in the second half.
Our second key, Dominique Wilson, just continues to improve. 19 points, 4 rebounds, 3 steals. She just gets better each game.
Well, we've been telling people all along that we think she's going to be a pretty good player. You know, she was one of those players that didn't come in here with a big reputation, although she did play for the high school team that was ranked #2 in the country, won a state championship, MVP of the state tournament game. But you know, she's had ups and downs like every other freshman. You know, she makes some mistakes on the defensive end. We get frustrated with her, can't remember her plays, and I think the more we're able to leave her out there because she irons out some of those other mistakes that were really frustrating to us, the more of an opportunity she has to feel like, you know, if I miss a shot or I miss or make a mistake, I'm not out of the game. So, you know, just playing with a little bit more confidence and starting to stroke the ball the way we felt like she could when we recruited her.
She's been fun to watch. In our third key, Calli 2 assists, which is low for her, but 9 rebounds and 9 points. I mean, she finds a way to make an impact.
She always does something, you know, that's well. I was shocked when I looked at the box score afterwards and saw that she only had 2 assists. That's got to be an all-time low for her. And certainly teams have made her a focal point of their defenses more recently. But once again, she finds a way to win. She knocks down a 3. She grabs 9 offensive rebounds. She gets us in transition. And the one thing at the end of the day is, as well, even though she didn't get to as many assists in this particular game, she still just doesn't turn the basketball over. So, you know, when you get a point guard that doesn't give the ball away to the other team, you've got a chance to win games because you're going to get more shots than the other team.
She's going to be a big key this week. Big week coming up for the Razorbacks. We'll talk about that with Coach coming up. Coming up next, Calli's Court.
My dedication puts me all in.
Commitment puts me all in.
Hard work puts me all in.
Doing just a little bit more. That's what puts me all in.
We're all in. Are you all in?
Are you all in?
Single game tickets are on sale now at ArkansasRazorbacks.com. Get yours today.
Hey guys, welcome to Calli's Court. We're here with Coach Shirey. She's the current assistant coach of the women's basketball team. She also played here, if some of y'all forgot. She has a lot of accolades to go with that. Just talk a little bit about what it was like to get to play here, but also being from here like I am.
Well, I think every little girl's dream in the state of Arkansas is to grow up to be a Razorback, and just for that dream to come true is something really special, as you know, and just being able to represent your state, and it's just a really good feeling.
What was the process in coming here? Was there any other options for you, or did you always know you were going to be a Razorback?
Actually, I visited Louisiana Tech. It was back in their heyday, and it was just as close to my home as Arkansas. So those were the two main schools, I guess. But deep down in my heart, I always knew I wanted to be a Razorback.
Well, whenever you started here and you worked your way all the way up the totem pole, was there something about Fayetteville, the University of Arkansas? What made it so special to be here?
I think it was the people. You know, when we bring recruits in on campus, you know, we talk about the people and the relationships that you make, and that's what it was for me. It's just a great place to be and a great place to raise a family, and just all the relationships that I've been able to form, it makes it truly special.
There's so many awards over the years that you accomplished. You're in the Hall of Fame, many things like that. But can you remember one specific game that is your greatest memory here at Arkansas?
I would have to say us defeating Texas when we broke their long winning streak on their home floor. That's probably what stands out the most. That, and when we beat UCLA in the NCAA tournament in Barnhill Arena, coming back from being down, I think, around 20 points, and that was pretty neat.
Coach Shirey has affected the University of Arkansas since she played here, and we know she'll continue to do that. Thanks for watching Calli's Court. We'll see you next week.
Kids, do you want to be part of an exclusive club full of other Razorback fans just like you? Then join the Junior Razorbacks Club, the exclusive kids club for the Razorbacks. Members receive an official t-shirt, lanyard, and membership card. Plus, there are many extra benefits like free admission to select home Razorback events, a birthday card from your favorite coach, and invitations to exclusive events. It's only $25 a year, so join by visiting ArkansasRazorbacks.com or call the Ticket Center at 1-800-982-HAWKS.
This week's question, pretty good one. Why do you think we've had so many close games this year than in years past?
Well, I think that's there's a positive for that. I think really, I think we lost our starting backcourt last year. We graduated four or five pretty good seniors. And I'm not sure, maybe we were expected to challenge, the top 15 teams in the country night in and night out. The good news is we have, and we've been in every game with them throughout the season. The bad news is we've lost a lot of those games by one basket, and that's pretty painful for a team that I think is probably trying to live up to the legacy of last year's team, and they're trying to prove that they're just as worthy. And I've said from day one, I think this team is pretty good, and they're much better than what maybe I thought that they were going to be when the season started. So I think any coach would tell you that when you get into close games, or when you get into the NCAA, or when you're looking to advance, the great teams have great guard play. And I look at our guards, and listen, I love our guards. I think Calli Burna, you've heard me say this time and time again, Calli Burna is one of the really good guards in our league.
Dominic Wilson.
And I think is going to be a star here if she continues to work hard. But the bottom line is you get yourself in those close games in that kind of situation, and it's usually not just great guards, but it's great experienced guards. And right now we're playing with a sophomore point guard and a freshman off guard. And so, there have just been times when we just haven't quite been able to make plays when you needed just one play to seal the game. And so that's been difficult. But, once again, I can twist it. The good news, one's a freshman, one's a sophomore. We're going to have those guards. They're going to turn into experienced guards next season. When we get ourselves in this situation, I think you're going to find us winning more of those close games.
Plus, one thing I really like, too, not only they're young, but they continue. They don't let the close losses get them down. I mean, they continue to battle, where a lot of young teams will kind of fold it in.
They've kept fighting. We had our back up against the wall probably 2-3 weeks ago after losing a couple of heartbreaking games, and losing a game or two maybe that you don't think you should have lost, maybe at Mississippi State. But they just keep responding. You know, Alabama is a good example. Our back was against the wall in that game. We needed to find a way to win, coming off of a tough overtime loss to number 10 Kentucky. They went out on the road. They battled. They went into overtime 3 times. You know, they could have just shut down and said, you know, Coach, this just isn't meant to me. But they kept battling. You know, Calli kept battling. Dominique Wilson really was the difference maker in that game. And so you got to love their attitude, and you got to love the, you know, you don't like them when they're young and they're making mistakes, but you got to like, coaches always like to know, wow, and I got these kids for 2 or 3 more years. These kids are really going to be good someday.
Well, 2 big games coming up this week. First one Thursday night, 6 o'clock tip in Athens, Georgia. You take on number 13 Georgia, a team that had very good success, led them most of the way here, not able to pull it out in the end. Does that help going into this game?
I hope so. You know, we've always played them tough. I mean, I think our kids believe that we're good enough to beat Georgia. I think beating Georgia on the road in that environment will be a pretty big challenge for us. But I think our kids seem to embrace those challenges. We've played them down there well before. We kind of know our back is against the wall. It'll be interesting to see how they respond in this particular situation as the season goes on. Your back gets shoved in there just a little bit more. But I think our kids are excited. I think they just want the opportunity to have another shot at Georgia, and then, you know, coming out of that game, hopefully we play well enough, and then take another shot at Tennessee as well.
That's right. Number 11 Tennessee comes to Bud Walton Arena Sunday, 2 o'clock. That game will be on the SEC Network. The Georgia game, by the way, on Fox Sports Net. So 2 big television games coming up. But Tennessee, obviously, new head coach this year, Holly Warlick. What is different about Tennessee, or is there anything different this year?
Well, you know, some things have changed a little bit. Certainly Pat Summitt's not calling the shots anymore, but, you know, Holly's done a terrific job. I mean, she really probably gets my vote for the SEC Coach of the Year under the circumstances. We all know what it was like for somebody to try to follow John Wooden at UCLA many years ago, and no one ever did succeed that, and Holly's done a pretty good job her first year. But the thing that hasn't changed is that Tennessee still has the best talent in this league. You look at their roster, and even though it's a little bit depleted because they've had some injuries, they still have more McDonald's All-Americans on their roster than any other team. So they just flat roll talent out there at you, and they take advantage of their talent. They're playing a little bit looser under Holly this year, I think. They're going up and down the floor, you know, taking early shots, taking some chances, playing probably the way the kids would like to play a little bit more, and I think that's bode well for them most of the time.
Had a great crowd Sunday for the Pink game against Missouri. Another great crowd on Sunday could really help this team against Tennessee.
Yeah, there's no doubt. You know, it's not our last home game, but you know, the fans always turn out. I think you're going to see the Tennessee fans here. I think the thing that's most frustrating for me is the Tennessee fans will drive all that way and come over, and you'll see so much orange in our arena, and it would really be nice to see at least half those seats filled up with red as opposed to orange. So, and they make a big difference for us. You know, if we can find a way to stay in the game with a talented team like that, I think our crowd sometimes gives us a fighting chance to win, and they really have given us a chance to win in all of these games that we've played so far at home.
It's going to be a fun week, big week for the Razorbacks. Be sure and watch them on TV or come out to Bud Walton Arena. Coach, let's get 2 big wins this week. What do you think?
All right, we're going to give it a shot.
All right, sounds good. For Tom Collin, I'm Blair Cartwright. We'll see you next time on Courtside.